The silent shadow. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city of Arborin. Once a bustling metropolis, it now lay under the oppressive rule of the foreign invaders who had taken the country by storm. The air was thick with tension, as the people of Arborin quietly hoped for a miracle, for someone to rise and free them from the iron grip of the enemy. Little did they know that their hope lay not in an army, but in a single man, a man known only as the Silent Shadow. Ethan Sinclair was a master of disguise, a ghost in the night, and a weapon forged by years of training in the art of espionage. Recruited by the elite intelligence agency, Ethan had carried out countless missions across the globe, each more dangerous than the last. But this mission was different. The stakes had never been higher, and failure was not an option. The fate of his homeland rested on his shoulders. Ethan crouched in the darkness, the cold wind biting at his skin as he surveyed the enemy compound from a distance. Nestled in the heart of Arborin, the compound was a fortress, guarded by heavily armed soldiers and surrounded by electrified fences. But none of this deterred Ethan. He had a plan that had been months in the making. In his ear, the voice of his handler, Sarah Morgan, crackled through the comms. "Ethan, are you in position?" "Affirmative," Ethan whispered, his eyes locked on the compound. "Are we clear on the objectives?" "Crystal clear," Sarah replied. "You need to infiltrate the compound, retrieve the classified documents, and eliminate the enemy commander. And Ethan, remember, you're our only hope." "I know," Ethan said, his voice steady. "I won't fail." With that, Ethan moved silently through the shadows, his black attire blending seamlessly with the night. He approached the compound, his senses heightened, every sound and movement amplified in his mind. He reached the outer perimeter, where the fence loomed tall, crackling with electricity. Ethan retrieved a small device from his pack, a portable EMP, and attached it to the fence. With a press of a button, the device emitted a low hum, and the electricity in the fence died out, giving Ethan a small window to slip through. He scaled the fence with ease and dropped down on the other side, landing softly on the grass. Ahead, the compound loomed, its windows dark and foreboding. Ethan moved quickly, sticking to the shadows as he approached the main building. He knew the layout by heart, thanks to the blueprint Sarah had secured. The documents he needed were kept in a secure vault in the basement, and the commander's office was on the top floor. Ethan reached the side entrance and picked the lock with practiced precision. The door clicked open, and he slipped inside, the interior of the building eerily silent. He moved through the corridors like a phantom, avoiding the patrols and security cameras with expert timing. His heart pounded in his chest, but his mind was focused, calculating his every move. He reached the staircase that led to the basement and descended quickly, his footsteps barely making a sound. The basement was dimly lit, and the air was cool and damp. Ethan found the vault door, a massive steel structure with a keypad for entry. He pulled out a small device from his pack, a digital decoder, and attached it to the keypad. The device beeped softly as it worked its magic, and within seconds, the vault door clicked open. Inside, the room was lined with shelves filled with classified documents, but Ethan knew exactly what he was looking for. He found the file marked Operation Ironclad, the enemy's plan to launch a full-scale attack on the country within the next 48 hours. He quickly scanned the documents, memorizing key details before tucking them into his pack. With the documents secured, Ethan moved to the next phase of his mission, eliminating the enemy commander. He ascended the stairs, his senses on high alert. The compound was still quiet, too quiet, and Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. He reached the top floor and moved toward the commander's office, his hand resting on the hilt of his knife. As he approached the door, he heard voices inside. He paused, listening carefully. The commander was speaking to someone, but Ethan couldn't make out the words. He needed to act fast. He reached for the door handle, but before he could turn it, the door swung open, and he found himself face to face with the enemy commander. The commander, a tall, imposing man with cold eyes, smirked as he saw Ethan. "Ah, the infamous Silent Shadow. We've been expecting you." Ethan's heart skipped a beat, but he didn't let it show on his face. "Then you know why I'm here." "Of course," the commander said, stepping aside to reveal the person he had been speaking to, a woman. She was beautiful, with sharp features and dark hair that framed her face, but there was something familiar about her that Ethan couldn't quite place. "This is Ilara," the commander said, his tone mocking. "She's been working with us for a long time. You see, Ethan, you've been played. We knew you were coming, and we let you get this far because we wanted to see just how far you'd go." Ethan's mind raced. He had heard the name Ilara before, whispered among the intelligence circles as one of the most dangerous operatives in the world. She was a double agent, working for both sides, and now she was standing before him, her eyes locked on his. "You think you've won?" Ethan said, his voice calm. "But you're wrong. This isn't over." Ilara stepped forward, her gaze intense. "You're right, Ethan. It's not over. But the question is, are you willing to do what it takes to end this?" For a moment, the room was silent, the tension thick in the air. Ethan didn't trust Ilara, but he could see in her eyes that she wasn't entirely loyal to the enemy. There was something else there, Summer. "I'm suggesting an alliance," Ilara said, her voice low. "The commander here is just a pawn in a much larger game. I know things, Ethan, things that could change the course of this war. But I need your help." The commander's smirk faltered as he realized what was happening. "Ilara, you traitorous!" Before he could finish, Ilara moved with lightning speed, drawing a hidden blade and slashing it across the commander's throat. The man gurgled, clutching at his neck as blood poured from the wound, and he collapsed to the floor, dead. Ethan watched, stunned, as Ilara wiped the blade on the commander's uniform and sheathed it. "We don't have much time," she said, turning to Ethan. "We need to get out of here before the others realize what's happened." Ethan nodded, his mind reeling from the sudden turn of events. He didn't fully trust Ilara, but he didn't have a choice. They moved quickly, retracing Ethan's steps through the compound and back to the perimeter. The guards were on high alert now, but Ilara seemed to know the layout just as well as Ethan, and together they avoided detection. They slipped through the fence and disappeared into the night, moving through the city's back streets until they reached a safe house Ethan had prepared. Once inside, Ethan secured the door and turned to face Ilara. "Why did you do it?" he asked, his voice filled with suspicion. Ilara looked at him, her expression unreadable. "Because I'm tired, Ethan. Tired of this war, tired of the lies, tired of being a pawn. I want out, and I want to help you stop this madness. But I need to know that I can trust you." Ethan studied her for a long moment. He had always worked alone, relying on his instincts and training to guide him. But something about Ilara felt different. She had risked everything by killing the commander, and now she was offering to help him. He knew it was a gamble, but it was one he had to take. "You can trust me," he said finally. "But if you betray me, I won't hesitate to do what's necessary." Ilara nodded, understanding the unspoken threat. "Fair enough. Now, let's get to work. We have less than 48 hours to stop this attack, and I have information that will be crucial." The next hours were a blur of planning, strategizing, and preparing for what would be the most dangerous mission of their lives. Ilara provided vital intelligence that allowed them to identify key targets and disrupt the enemy's operations from within. Together, they formed a plan that was bold, risky, and had little margin for error. As they worked, Ethan found himself drawn to Ilara in ways he hadn't expected. She was intelligent, resourceful, and had a fire in her that matched his own. There was a mutual respect that began to grow between them, and with it, an unspoken bond that neither of them could ignore. The night of the attack arrived, and Ethan and Ilara moved with precision and efficiency. They infiltrated the enemy's headquarters, disabling communications, sabotaging weapons, and creating chaos within the ranks. It was a brutal and bloody battle, but Ethan and Ilara fought side by side, their movements in perfect sync. In the heat of the battle, as explosions rocked the compound and gunfire echoed through the night, Ethan found himself face to face